Welcome again. Today, I'm thinking to try out one of the use case with Google Anti-Gravity. It comes with one of the key feature that is browser control capability. Right, that got me thinking of the use case where we can use browser control alongside with SDK to create lab in EVE-NG. Right. So here's what we are going to do. We will use anti-gravity. Right. We will install this anti-gravity and then we will use custom prompt to build a complete lab in EVE-NG. Now, EVE-NG provides an SDK that allows us to programmatically create lab topologies. We can create lab, add nodes, and even connect the cabling. That works great. But in the community edition, we found kind of a limitation where we can build the topology through SDK. We can't fully configure devices themselves to start with, at least in the community version I have seen. So the question is, can anti-gravity step in here, right? So we will use SDK for topology creation and then switch to anti-gravity browser control feature to log into EVE-NG web interface and bootstrap the devices directly through QUI. So we have installed anti-gravity, and if I go to settings, under browser section, we can see enable browser tool is enabled. And we also have EVE-NG URL in the allow list. And if I go to the agent section, I can change this review policy to always proceed and terminal command auto execution to always proceed. Continue this as well. And let's get started with the prompt. So under the folder anti-gravity, so this is my workspace folder, and I will start with the planning first. So I want to build a complex CCI service provider LT topology, right? And these are some critical thinkings. So I want to first conclude on the design part, right? So whatever script that the agent will configure, it should be under the virtual environment. I'm also telling that you should use official SDK for EVE-NG and given a reference link where it can understand the example and create the script accordingly. Management connectivity, I'm talking about, it should use management cloud 0 and how to use SDKs, some layout, how it should lay out the topology on inside EVE-NG, and some browser fine tuning where I'm talking about certain things it can perform through SDK and rest of the things like drag drop and arranging the nodes and doing the configuration. It should use browser control. I should be using Cisco IOL images, and this is my management IP planning. User credentials, once the devices will be configured, this credential will be used to perform the SSH. And let's start with the design first. And I'm telling not to touch EVE-NG at this point of time. So it is starting with planning and drafting the implementation plan. Kind of structure we got it here. It's a task. And I think soon I will see the implementation plan. It's defining the topology. So I want to see the thinking. So this is the implementation plan, right? This is how the topology should look like, and addressing schema, what are the routers and the nodes that we will have it, point-to-point link, subnetting, cabling plan, verification plan. And I think it's completed. It's still thinking. Okay, it created a virtual environment with the requirement.txt, and I think it is now going to install the dependencies. There were some errors, and I think it's going to correct that. Okay, it's requesting permission for terminal access. Let's see. Okay. It's now installing the dependencies. NetMiko library and some other dependencies. Okay, it is now also verifying Eve. Right. So let's first conclude on the configuration. Right. Let's not touch EVE-NG at this point of time. Okay. So it modified the implementation plan a bit to make it more exhaustive. I think it came up with the addressing schema and loopback addresses, right? And some configuration standards as well that we can see in the template. Base template, MPLS template, interface template, BGP template, customer edge. Right, and it's still thinking. It came up with some scripts as well for provisioning. And it's now generating config for all the nodes based on the template that we had. And I think it created one folder where it is keeping the configurations. Right. So we first had the Ginger templates, and based on that, it created the configuration. Okay, complete with the process. And it's telling that it has created a provisioning lab script. Right, and it's ready with execution now. So move to the virtual environment, and this is where I'm giving the EVE-NG URL with the credentials, and I'm also asking to create a lab using this with this name. If it already existing, it will wipe it off. Right, and I think for the node creation, I mean, I think I'm just talking about the rule here that I have given in the prompt, first prompt, right? How many Ethernet modules that I require in IOL node. So it updated the provisioning lab actually with the updated IP address. Okay. The table to create the lab. Let's see. Yes, it created the lab here. Let's creating the nodes. I think this is the script. Okay. Okay, it edited. It's continuously editing this script here. And I have successfully created the lab. Okay, provision nodes, 9 nodes. Layout done. Management network is this created and cabling is skipped. Let's see. All right, let's open this. Looks okay. Oh, let's go back and continue with the cabling part. cabling and configuration. So let's say execute the cabling within the virtual environment. First, use the official connect node to node. This is important. Otherwise, sometimes it creates the cloud interface and connect through it, right? And this is what we will use for the management connectivity. Connect cloud node to cloud, and this is the cloud zero uh, interface through which we will take the management. And once done, we will do the fine tuning of that through browser drag and drop. Ensure all links are visible. Right. So let's look at the thinking. Okay, so it is adapting to the method to connect each node Ethernet 00 to cloud 0. Right, it is updating the provisioning lab for that. It attempted to perform the cabling, but I see some errors. I think it's using the wrong interface. Let's see. Interpreting Ethernet connectivity. Debug output shows the name as EVE-0. So probably it was doing wrong. So I must use the API call accordingly, right? Let's see what it does. I don't know, it's creating the node again or what. Okay, now it's taking the browser control. All right. It's now started taking the browser control. Cabling also looks good. Okay, it's starting ISP1. Oh, it dragged it to make it little looks like to make it look little better. Taking final screenshots, capturing the final topology layout after fine tuning. I think it already looks good. It doesn't have to fine tune anymore. Let's see for some more iteration. Then I can interrupt. It's proportionally or aligned. I think the topologies already looks good. Let's see the thought process. Like are appropriately positioned at the bottom. I think I will adjust horizontal spacing. Okay. Nothing is overlapping, that's fine, or crossing anything. Right, and okay. I made some minor tweaks to the device positioning. Okay. Rendering the playback. I think it's done with that. Okay, it's asking, are you ready to proceed with pushing the configuration? Let's see what it says here. Okay, this is the final uh, topology layout. It took the screenshot and I think where it put it. It is. This is the final screenshot of that. Anyways, I think we can proceed with the configuration. So I can say now. Little bit tweak here. So I just say proceed with the configuration now and put it one by one into the startup config section via browser control. Enable the exported status of all nodes. Right, let's proceed with this. All right. Okay. Reading the generated configuration. Yes, go ahead. Restricting configuration blocks. Pushing the configuration to EVE-NG via browser for all nodes. Read browser page in browser. Clicking OK, let's see. All right. Okay. So it's now putting the configuration. I think it will paste the configuration now. Let's see. All right, it pasted the configuration here. Will it now, okay, save it, and I think it will attempt to toggle it. Let's see. Or it will do all router one by one. Yes, it will. I think it will paste all the configuration one by one. Okay. I'm not touching anything. Everything is being done by the agent, right? It has taken complete control of my browser, right? It's going to each node, pasting the configuration, and I think once it's done, it will also toggle this off to on for the startup configuration. 5 more nodes left. This anyhow will be a long video, but I just wanted to show you end to end how agent is going to build this lab so that we don't miss any detail. Understand that it need to do a save first before it goes and do a toggle. Okay, as expected, it's now going to toggle it. Okay, this is quick. Thinking that it need to save one more time. All right. Okay, it ended the browser control. Let's see what it says. Okay, so it's going to take the browser control again for starting the nodes. What? No, okay. So it created a script for that, basically. So it is thinking that it is easier to do it via script. It's fixing the login logic. And starting the nodes individually to identify the failure source. It's failing again. That's trying to do here. It's creating another node for testing. I think it is trying to spin something more than I told it to do. For testing purpose, it is looking into the images. I think I need to stop it here. Okay, so let's give it a prompt. Let's not try to create any additional nodes and focus on starting the nodes. First, try through SDK or API. If not working, then take browser control and do it. Let's see if the nodes are not started. Okay, it's checking the provisioning status. So it's continuously failing to start nodes. Right. Again, it failed. So I think it will go to browser approach now. So putting the credential. and it's going to start all nodes. Okay. Seems there's a issue with the EVE-NG itself. Let's see if it is able to start it individually. No, it's not. It's failing. Okay, let's see if it is able to figure it out. And if not, I will take control and see what is wrong in this. Let's see what it is thinking and what is the thought process. So on nodes remain in stop state. All right. I think it got it right. Got it right. I think it is the problem with IOURC. Right, it's going to check whether it is there. Let's see what it does. Okay, it's adding the following license uh, to IOURC. I think still the same issue. I tried it myself and let's see what it does. So let's see after a certain point of time. I think it was able to start the nodes as I can see here. And it is able to telnet to the devices or what? Let's see what it says. So starting the nodes and attempting SSH. This was the old thing. Now here. It implementing restore and start, and let's see what it did. I have successfully provisioned the lab. Due to persist issue of IOL images, I migrated the topology to Cisco VIOS nodes, which are fully verified and running. Okay, so it was facing some problem with IOL. Status created, nodes deployed and started. Interface name this is. All right. Let's see the lab now. Okay, so the labs has to be started, right? And I think right, it is coming up. Mhm. This is the password that I provided. Yes, that's working. Okay, so let's ask something to this. What do you think the problem is with IOL and how the iOS works? Let's see what was the finding, right? I think the problem was with the IOURC. License mismatch. We successfully ran key generator and applied the license, but Node still refused to boot. It's likely that generated key didn't match what the IOL binary was expecting. I think that's okay. It was able to make its decision um, that it need to spin off VIOS. It understood that VIOS image already exists by looking into the EVE, which is great, right? And it is able to quickly spin the same lab with VIOS image, right? So would you like me to proceed with phase 6, verifying the L3 connectivity? Yes. So I can say that yes, please proceed with that. So validate the deployment. Right, this part is not required. Okay, so let's see. So it is now thinking, and I think it will create a valid deployment script. Okay, ping is not happening. Yes, and it is skipping the SSH part because ping is not happening. Let's see how it diagnoses it. So one diagnosis it done that IOL images were not working, so it quickly switched it to VIOS. So that is one good part it did. Now it is, I think, is it taking the console? No, it is logging into the devices to check it. Now it is checking that why the SSH was not working. Python verify console.py. Okay, it is using telnet port the console to log in into the devices and check the configuration instead of SSH and find out why ping is not working. It seems ping is working for 1.45. I have confirmed that the templates directory holds a necessary configuration file. I am proceeding to rewrite generate config.py. I think it did found some kind of configuration issue. Notice restarting the lab with the fixed configuration. See, in the meantime, nodes are running. Common cause the problem: incorrect hostname IP address. Don't receive for this. All this thing it is thinking that it could be the problem. Okay, now it's generating the RSA keys. I think that was the issue. Let's see. Because this is one of the problem with the bootstrap, right? Now ping is also success, and you can see still we have seen the SSH failure, but ping is happening. It is turning out to be a lab troubleshooting now. It is checking the interface, what IP address we have configured on the interface, and let's see. All right. Let me pause it for a while and let it complete. You know, I think verification is complete. Right, what it is saying that lab is fully deployed, right? Nodes are running. Connectivity to 8 out of 9 nodes are reachable via SSH. So it is able to do SSH as well. One node is not reachable. Routing IS is successful. Core adjacencies are also forming. All right. So let me try it out. Let's take one of the one of the node. Let's take C. So I paint brief. This is the IP address. Let's try to SSH it. Right. Admin. Okay, so I don't have putty. To download that. I am extra my yes. Extra. Let's close this. Start a new session. SSH. Okay. Let's get this for a while. But yes, it is able to perform the SSH. Let me ask what commands you used to verify routing protocols. So we route. So it's only connected routes over here. I think it's also executing that. Okay, it checked the LDP as well as LDP, and let's check the P routers. Well, that's that's perfectly all right. So IGP is working fine. It is able to discover the neighbors as well. And what else it is telling? MPLS interface on P routers. Right. Great. Let's check on the P routers. It's BGP all summary. Great. We have the BGP neighbors as well. So I think that's all. I think we are able to configure the lab end to end through anti-gravity. There were certain hiccups, and uh, Gemini was able to find it out. So we are using Gemini as a large language model here. It is able to find out. One thing it found basically is the IOL issue, the issue with the license file, and it quickly switched to VIOS. Another thing it found basically the problem with the SSH, and it generated the keys and verified that SSH is working. It is also able to verify all routing protocols and IGP neighborship as well as MPLS configuration, right? Whatever it configured as per the intent. Right. So overall, I think it is able to configure the lab end to end. So I think with this video, I'm able to show you end to end how lab configuration is done through Gemini using anti-gravity, uh, browser-based approach, right? Controlling the browser, putting the configuration as well as through SDK. Also it did the verification. So it took the entire control of the EVE-NG and uh, configured the entire lab in there autonomously. So thank you for watching.